Here in IMTC World 2015, we make sure to always bring the most qualified speakers. For example, I just spoke to Professor Evans from Barry University. Let's go see what he had to say.
My presentation focuses on the uses of Bitcoin and other innovative technologies to enable people in the developing world to do business on an equal footing with people in the OECD member states. There are approximately 5.5 billion people who live outside of the OECD but are not living in abject poverty, and they're making a very good hard run toward the middle class. And things like Bitcoin, mobile phones, Skype, and things along those lines are making it easier for them to do business with us as equals. And so I'm advising many of these entrepreneurs, mostly in sub-Saharan Africa, on how to move their projects forward. I think that the best way to differentiate Bitcoin users from non-Bitcoin users will be to remember that 80 to 85% of the world's population is underbanked. So Bitcoin users will be among the people who do have bank accounts, but among the 80 to 85% of the world's population that does not have access to efficient banking, some subset of that will be using Bitcoin, which means that they will be able to access the global marketplace in ways that they never could before. I think one way of putting it is I was delivering a presentation on Bitcoin at a large Latin American bankers conference here in Miami. And one of the questions that came up was, what can Bitcoin do that banks cannot do? And so I paused, I caught my breath, I looked at the audience and I said, open accounts. Because that's one of the hardest things for banks to do with regards to inclusive finance. I teach economics and finance at Barry University. My academic research also focuses on Bitcoin these days. I have 2 papers out right now. One is called The Blind Economists and the Elephant, that answers the question, what is Bitcoin? And I also have another one in the Journal of Islamic Banking and Finance that's called Bitcoin in Islamic Banking and Finance, that shows the similarities between these different styles of moving value around as compared with the mainstream banking industry. So this is my academic research. And then Barry University has a very strong emphasis on entrepreneurship within its School of Business. And I have my business students coordinate with our contacts in Africa and other parts of the world to actually get involved with these sorts of projects, which again would have been literally impossible 5 years ago. I was at IMTC World last year, and I am delighted to see how different the Bitcoin session is. When we were here last year, it was predominantly Bitcoin fans. And if you go in the room and look at who was there, this is becoming big.